The modern Doom games, they come from one of the most impactful video game series probably ever, next to maybe like Mario and Halo. But the original Doom games, they were the groundwork for what Halo and all the other stunning shooter games that came out in the Xbox and PS2 era built off of. Doom 1993 and Doom 2 were insane. Genre defining, to say the least. 2 years later now, we've had 3 gigantic entries into the franchise that have all been insanely great and very, very well loved by the community. Doom 2016 came out. It modernized everything that everybody loved about Doom 1 and Doom 2. It gave it a beautiful coat of paint, and if you go and look at the textures and the models for this game, it is astonishing. They're 9 years old. That game looks amazing. It modernized Doom perfectly, and everybody loved it, and everyone should love it because it's a great game. And then I think, it was 2020. In 2020, Doom Eternal came out. It took everything Doom 2016 had, and it cranked everything up to 11. The story got beefed up to this big, epic, over-the-top thing, which was amazing. The guns got a fresh coat of paint, and they got reworked. They added the weapon swap mechanic. They added movement things. You had the meat hook, so you could fly through the air now as fast as you wanted. It was way different than 2016, but it was still insane. It is still insane. Its ability to create such a tightly managed experience is ridiculous. And that was followed up most recently by Doom the Dark Ages. That came out, I want to say May-ish, or middle of May this year. Doom the Dark Ages is, again, much like Doom Eternal, very different, but insanely good. They added, there's a brand new art style. 2016 was like a classic Doom modernized, and then Eternal was something of a little bit more arcadey feeling in its look. But Doom 2016 is like this dark, black, gray, eldritch horror sort of Cthulhu bulk. It's amazing. It's so dark, and everything looks so great. I don't know if y'all have seen the texture for the, what's it called? Revenant. The Revenant texture in Doom 2016, the model for him, is so cool looking. And the Cosmic Baron is also awesome. The Doom Dark Ages, I changed up the texture style, it changed up the gameplay, it gave you a defensive option with the shield saw. It was amazing. It still is amazing. It's a great game. All 3 of these games are amazing. And yet, every time you go to look for reviews of them, people are dogging on them endlessly because they're not like the game that came before them. I can't really find anyone complaining about Doom 2016, and there's not a lot to complain about. I think the super shotgun might be a little overpowered because you get like 30 shots and it kind of 2-taps everything. But aside from that, Doom 2016 has very, very little wrong with it. And when Doom Eternal came out, if you look at Doom Eternal reviews from 2020, 2021, people dog on that game for not being like 2016. They take the piss out of it because they added the verticality, because they added the new weapons, because they did all of this stuff to it that wasn't in 2016. And like, I can kind of understand that a lot of stuff in Eternal doesn't quite hit. I think of the 3 games, Eternal and Dark Ages are certainly the more flawed ones. I'm pointing at a lot of stuff in both of those games and be like, yeah, okay, that's not quite as good. In Eternal, there's a handful of weapon mods that aren't super well utilized, and there's a handful of bosses that feel a little unfair. Fighting Samuel Hayden in the first DLC was ridiculous. The spirits, also in the first DLC, insanely obnoxious to fight. Call me bad, but they're certified oh crap moment. Every Doom game has one where you see an enemy and you have like 3 health, and then you see that enemy pop up and you know you're about to die. The spirit is one of those, and it's terrifying. Doom Eternal has a lot of flaws, but none of them detract from the fact that that game is so insanely good. Their ability to take Doom and add this whole other resource management aspect, and the flame belch and the ice bomb and the armor, all of these things that Doom Eternal builds off of. It is amazing. I am shocked that it lost Game of the Year to It Takes Two. I could be wrong. I think it lost Game of the Year to It Takes Two, and It Takes Two is great, but I'm shocked that it lost Game of the Year. It is a genre-defining shooter, and it is the only one that in the last 10 years that I could really think of, or at least the last 5 years that I can really think of. And people kept dogging on it. And it made me really mad because they were just upset that it wasn't like 2016. And if you can imagine, that's the exact same thing that happened when Dark Ages came out. And it's still happening right now because Dark Ages is less than 6 months old. Dark Ages took a lot of the stuff that Doom Eternal had, toned it down. There's almost no vertical aspect now. They gave you a sprint button for the first time. They still give you some good movement options with your shield, your shield bash and everything. But again, people dog on this game for not being like Eternal, for not being as fast or as punchy, which I thought was a stupid argument. I saw that one a lot. People said Dark Ages wasn't quite as punchy or as loud or as powerful feeling as Eternal. I'm going to have to disagree. I think there are a lot of really great aspects and sound designs in Dark Ages that make you feel just as powerful as you are. Like Dark Ages, there's some stuff in Eternal that isn't quite as insane. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you know the deal with Mick Gordon. But Mick Gordon was not working on the soundtrack, and you can tell. It's still good. There's, I think, Finishing Move Incorporated did it. And off the top of my head, I think they did some Halo music and some music for some other really big IPs. And they did a solid job, but it's not Mick Gordon. The best soundtrack in Dark Ages, in my opinion, is not on the same level as BFG Division or Meat Hook or Only Thing They Fear Is You. These big songs that Mick Gordon made, they don't hold a candle to them. And the Atlan and Dragon sections are cool. I think they use them really well as pace breakers, but they're not quite as in-depth as the combat, and that's not really a big deal. But it's still, those are still some legitimate knocks against the game. But because of those things, people still dog on it because it's not like Eternal, and they hated Eternal because it wasn't like 2016. And I wish that people would just learn to shut the frick up for a second, because all of these games are insane. They're great. They all have their flaws, yeah, but these games are all wonderful. And I wish everyone could see them for being wonderful. And maybe they do, and maybe I'm looking in too far into it because I'm a freaking nerd. But those flaws shouldn't take away from how great these games are. Ever. If Hugo Martin or whoever at id Software is watching this for whatever reason, first off, thank you. Second, I'm sorry that people do this. This has happened twice now, and it's an established pattern. Don't stop making Doom games. I love them so much, and I think a lot of people really love them. So, yeah, these games are great. To the theoretical id Software employee who's watching this, thank you for working on them.